Shalom, everybody. Shalom, everybody. It's your boy Leon the Servant back here with another one. Man, it's been a minute. I know this camera is like tweaking out. It's going back and forth, and I spent a little bit of time trying to mess with it. Um, I say the real one's just gonna rock with it. It is what it is. Um, had a few things on my mind today. Moving forward, and how I really want to go about this. So first off, I want to say all praise, all glory to the Most High, Yah, Kala to the Ava, you know. And the next thing I want to say is I hope everyone else is doing well, in good health, and that this message finds you on a good day, a good time, to think about something pivotal. I myself have went through a lot of pivotal moments in the last year and a half or so, and now it's time to share some things, and other things it's time to lead the way of where we should head next. Give me 1 second. I'll just get that off right there. Or where we should head next. And it brought me to this question of greatness, and on the pathway to greatness and the things that may come from that. What does greatness look like? What is righteousness? What does righteousness look like? Walking with the Most High and always keeping your head up, being able to move forward, being able to redefine oneself, or really just to find a new aspect of oneself. And with everything on the horizon for me, and I'll get into some of the updates in a moment, just being very intentional on your life, on your path, what you believe, why you believe it, how you eat, who you spend your time with, what is your purpose, how to navigate nuanced situations. And dealing with all these circumstances, situations, you start to carve out a journey of improving oneself, or it can be a pathway of self-degradation for the lack of application of your highest self. And that kind of goes to where I see this path that I'm walking with the Most High is leading, is on the path of the application of the Spirit that is edified. My name is, or is commonly referred to by Leon the Servant. Leon's my middle name, right? And a servant of the Most High, a servant of truth, a servant of righteousness. And as the years have gone on, that has expanded to being a servant of my family, a husband, and even the more recent development is on the way of being a servant of fatherhood, which is coming soon. All praises, all glory. And in that, there's a lot of lessons that I've learned. There's a lot of different things that I had to go through in order to come out better, fuller, wholer, wiser, stronger. And in that, I've learned more things. Let me see something real quick because I don't want it to time out for y'all. The screen almost turned off. Give me 1 second. If not, I might just hit it every once in a while. I don't feel like looking for the settings for it right now, and that's okay. That's okay. with this camera refocusing, that's okay too. It's all good. No stranger to technical different difficulties, and no stranger to spiritual difficulties, mental difficulties, physical difficulties. But I'm also no stranger to overcoming, to ruling over, dominion over, and evolving and adapting. So I kind of want to, fill you guys in on some things. That was just something that was on my spirit, on the Ruach, and I wanted to let it be. Let's also address something else that's new on this channel, which I know that there's nothing else that's on this channel besides this live currently. And that's because we are starting fresh, we are starting new, not in the spirit of the new year, rather it is a new calendar year. And this is how we do address common time around the world currently, but in the spirit of a new beginning. And as the day resets every 24 hours with the night, and the seasons change throughout the calendar year, throughout the moon cycles, so shall the representation of myself and this channel and the evolution of purpose, but always for the same purpose, always for the same foundation is where we're coming from. So I we've had a lot of spiritual edification conversations on this platform. I've shared some of my findings with the scriptures. Shared some of my findings from long ponderies, some of my philosophies that I've grown to adapt and hold on to as I've overcame life. And as much of that was talking, much of that you got to see the portion of me in a state of wanting to do but could not do, for various reasons. But now this new season is a version of me that can do and will show the process of me doing. So now it's time to truly live up to the spiritual application with spiritual edification with practical application. And there's a lot of things that we're going to hit on that throughout the entire year of 2025 and every year to come that the Most High gives us, because every day is a blessing. Every day is a blessing, no matter how it may look, no matter how it may turn out. Yah gave us a day and we shall be glad in it, because we give no power to others who may take that away from you. Is to constantly remember that you are the child of the Most High, and as He is divine, so are you. I want to say shalom to Steve Bless. Shalom, I. Say we coming back with it. We swinging strong. Some of the things I was saying here, because this is a live conversation, is direct talking to the people who was able to tap in this time. Some things may be repeated, but nothing shall be regurgitated, because every moment is authentic to itself. Let's hit into, we addressed that yeah, we're starting this channel new. I'm still the same me in the aspect of what I stand for, but we're in a different environment, and I want to show you guys how I adapt and overcome this environment more personally moving forward. Make this a platform more geared towards not just the things that's going on in the world, but things that's also happening in the personal. How we actually, create some type of community on a higher level, on a higher level. And I could have started a new channel, but I do know there's some people who rock with me here and who want to see me here, and we're gonna move with those people, and we're going to grow. Right. Um, I hit that, and now I want to also talk about some new things, new developments. I said one earlier. I have a child on the way. I am married. Um, there's my beautiful wife right there, Shalom Chael. Um, and we are pregnant. you know, so fatherhood is on the way, and I've changed a lot of things has been going on and behind the scenes, and been learning some new skills, and have some new music ideas, and have other things that I wanted to share with the world, share with you guys, the family, to build and have new things for people to take away from. Um, but I want to reset the room. You know, there's some things that what I have spoken on, and most of those things I stood on. So I wanted to say that um, all those videos, if you really um missed them, they're still on your playlist and things of that sort. They're just not currently visible right now. I will go through a more meticulous process of reusing some of that content in the future, and maybe putting back up some of the old videos. Like I know I took down some of the Psalm videos; those will be pushed, po- published back up, revamped, and we're definitely going to still hit, and we still stand on everything we stand on. But it is time for a new shift. 2024 has revealed a season of telling truths, and 2025 for me and my household, the Hartwell household, shall represent the execution of knowledge, of all the current knowledge we have, which is something that may seem daunting, but is expected out of a person who grows. And I want to showcase that. We're going to take you guys through some beautiful journeys of self-defense, and we're going to talk about certain things dealing with married life, relationships. We're going to talk about how to survive this new financial place, with higher interest rates, with the dollar not stretching as far as it used to, and how to move forward with that. I've learned some interesting skills, and I'm not here to necessarily teach them, right? Because of that factor, I will need to have a license, but I will show you, and I will show you what I do, and will share any information that I have with you. I see we got Happy Feet in here. All praises to the Most High perpetually, right? Um, So we're going to be talking more about that. We're going to be getting into things dealing with the health once again. The Warrior uh, season will showcase itself once again. We're going to take music on a much more spiritual and deeper journey. Uh, for these are a lot of the things I've compiled over the years, and to be honest, I just when I was going through these videos, I realized once when May hits, I think it was like May 17th or somewhere around there, I would have been doing and creating content for over the last 4 years. And in the year of completing 4 years, I think that it's time that we see what Leon the Servant is really made of. You know, I think it's time for you to see what our community as warriors, people who fight for the cause of righteousness, while living in peace, in shalom, what that really looks like, and really honing in on that. I've seen quite a few things on the YouTube airways and channels, And I want to put out a new vibe. I want to put out a new frequency. I want to put something that I haven't seen revitalized the way that it should be as often as it can be, and from the things that I know now. And we ain't going to stop that. Um, and mind you guys, as you guys come in, you have any questions, things you guys want to talk about, we're just talking about how we moving forward, not as a New Year's resolution. For, to be honest, every day is a new day. Every year is a new year. Every month is a new month. Every hour is a new hour. And you have the ability to change your life. You have the ability to set new standards for yourself. You have the ability for this to be a pivotal moment in your life, and it will never be the same ever again. Whether that is embarking on a new journey in fitness, spiritually, academically, relationship wise, there's so many different aspects that you yourself can be working on right now that you have grown, like the mighty oak planted by the waters that is spoken about in Psalms, right? On where you're headed versus where you came. And we're also going to get into deeper roots of African American history, right? We're going to get into some Hebraic history. We're going to get into some African historical history, right? I think it is very important that as we move forward in the world, that we are no longer ignorant of the rest of the world and where the world has came, where your ancestors have came, where your beliefs have came, and where should that bring you? For they say that if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're headed. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think that if you do not take time to consider and meditate on the ways of the Most High and on the ways to navigate and how others have navigated, that you won't get too far. So that is definitely something that is pivotal in elevating oneself, because that's all that I want for all people, and my people especially. Too. Shalom, CEO King. Blessings, love, peace, protection from the Most High Elohim, listening from where all praises. Thank you for your kind words and your good words. Also, I want to take you guys on something that's very near and dear to me, and learning Hebrew. I've been learning for the last 3 days actually. So this is something I actually started more recently, but I did know that as my child is on the way, that I do want Hebrew to be a language of the household. I think that there is a lot of power in it, and there will be studies on this. Like we're going to dive deep into this. I'm ready to bring up some interesting artifacts and findings, and I want to take us through some information that, when applied, can be revolutionary to yourself, to your community, to your family, to the world. And I want to show you guys as I revolutionize myself, my family, my community, and the portion of the world that I can touch. And I say that as you shine, you give permission for other people to shine and share their light. And that is true. That is very true. So we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on some more spiritual principles as well. Thank you for the congratulations on the baby. I'm very ecstatic, happy, and I am in a spirit of deliberation to make sure that my actions are deliberate, intimate, and once again righteous, forthcoming, and the glory of the divinity of the Most High and what I share in. And growing up, Black polymaths, a person who is multidimensional and the way that they can solve a problem, have the elegance and grace of royalty. That I am excited on. So in order for that, I can't be all talk. So I gotta walk the walk. And that's where you guys are here to see, to be a part of us walking the walk. What I'm saying? The block trot, hustling in the cold. You know, the ones who know, y'all know what I'm talking about. And like I said, I will repost that music. It is not lost. Excuse me. Excuse me, family. Um, but let's also talk about some other things that's changed. Um, we changing careers out here. Uh, we changed land masses out here. I've made some big moves, and I reside in a completely different place. I'm living a completely different life than I was living a year ago, let alone 6 months ago. But I've been on this path to living this life for multiple years, multiple months, multiple days, where some thoughts are new and some applications are nuanced, but the spirit is the same. The spirit is the same. So, big move made, child in the way. I'm married as of August of last year. And it's just time to keep rising and elevating. What I'm saying? It's really time to keep showing the world what else is there to offer. How can we keep elevating? It's time for all that. It's definitely time. I get excited thinking about it. I have a video cooking up for you guys in the back as we speak. I'm getting the necessary components for it. Because I learned that these higher levels of knowledge, spirituality, um, those are not always easily as accessible and attainable to people to even operate in if you don't have your necessities taken care of. So we're going to talk about how to get that in order. That is something that has been very fun and interesting, challenging for me. King C3 said, not King C3, my bad. CEO King said, "What type of wedding did you have?" I had a backyard wedding. It was a small, intimate one. Uh, just close family. We have pictures and things of that sort. Maybe wifey might put a little collage together for y'all on our family page. That is in the works. That's definitely in the works. Fatherhood, husbandry, leadership. We're gonna be building on that on the highest level. Um, One thing that is concerning to me that I've seen as I've been walking this path, right? And I appreciate everyone who sends well wishes to me, but I have learned as being a strong friend for, excuse me, a strong friend for some of my good friends, the lack of guidance and safety, the lack of clarity that is not normally given. Um, is not normally given to us as men, as even black women, black men. And I want to open up the doorway to having that on more than one front. Right. Some of the things that I have been able to help my friends through, I want to encourage other people on taking the help and helping their friends through, also helping yourself through or gaining the appropriate support. For man, it's not meant to be alone. Community is needed, and showcasing on building a community that works and serves you. Um, CEO King said, "Did you go through the earth process or an agreement with the Most High?" I did both, right? And I want to, you know what? That's something worth talking about right now. That's actually, that's a. I'm not going to go on a huge tangent, but as we talk about commit, commitment, pathways, learning, going through, right? And maybe there may be a much, maybe that's a topic that maybe should be discussed much greater in detail. But I don't want to just say something without you understanding why I said what I said, right? I just think that that's just unfair. So CEO King asked, did you go through the earth process or an agreement with the Most High? Now, I proposed, made a vow to my wife, right? Um, under the Most High, uh, and we had family there, and we didn't go through the traditional of having some type of judge or magistrate, right? We had trusted family members to unify us. Actually, both of our families there, and both of our parents were a part of the unification process of this new family that was created, right? And that was very intentional. There was Hebrew sayings and words that we had uh, that was very intentional, very spiritual. But then at the same time, knowing that in order for this to be respected on all levels, there's a spiritual fruit and there's a physical fruit. And we did also do sign paperwork, right? This paperwork for me, and especially the life that I currently lived in the past, working in construction and things of that sort. Yeah, yeah. We also did get a marriage license. Yes, I'm hitting on that right now, King. Um, because of the fact that me working in construction, right? If anything was to happen to me or anything like that, uh, the processes that may be given to the illusion of just saying it between one person and another person and not having a diary, right, a record or something of that sort in America, but I would venture to say in any country, right, yeah, in any kingdom, right, um, that there needs to be a process of recognizing that, right, and within that lack of recognition, the things that you do open yourself up to, right, is that, for instance, and thank the Most High for His provision, His protection, His guidance, His shelter, right, is that I have not gotten hurt. She has not gone to the hospital or any of these different things that would make it that other people will limit me access to my partner, right? Other people will limit me access to my spouse, to my wife, because of the fact that they cannot recognize what one person is saying versus documentation. There is an importance in knowing how to operate wisely in whatever kingdom you're in. And I think that a lot of people do not try to cover their ass in more than one way. And I have learned throughout my process of living that not doing that is the reason why we have so many different issues. Um, and there's also other solutions to this very same thing. Um, so yeah, that I think that kind of covers that. And a nice little synopsis of, yes, we did it spiritually, right? And then we also later get the paperwork, because I wonder if a lot of people even know how that really works with the whole government license thing, like, because I actually went through it. When you go get married, you go and tell the government that you're getting married, right? Then they say, hey, you go take this, right? And this tells any organization that they have the right to marry you, and that we will acknowledge that you're being married, right? But if there is no marriage ceremony, right, then we will disband this, right? Um, and then you personally have to go and get married under whatever practices and things of that sort. And I didn't know that I don't know if most people know that you don't need a pastor, you don't need um the government official, you don't need a judge, you don't need a magistrate. Like, none of those things are actually a prerequisite for you having a marriage license, or to actually have a marriage license, which that is also something interesting that I think is commonly left out of whether or not this makes it less spiritual than what it already is. Because I don't think that when either person says that they commit to being a husband or a wife, that saying it on paper, saying it in spirit, that either one of them discounts the other. And that's also an interesting conversation. Like I said, I think that there does need to be a whole video breaking down that, not really vindicating why I did what I did, but to maybe provide a new perspective on doing things in a way that does help, if it serves you. If it doesn't serve you, then not to. Because I personally am not forcing anyone else to follow my footsteps, but sharing why I made the decisions that I make and why I endorse the things that I endorse, through my walk and through my journey with the Most High. I do not think that a marriage license um, makes my marriage any more real, per se, but it does allow me to access more abilities in my marriage that I already know should be there. Uh, so that was that, right? Like I said, we're going to hit on relationships as they come. We're going to hit on different topics as they come up and things of that sort. Uh, because once again, it is important that we grow, we learn. That doesn't always mean that we decline or we regress in the progress that we made. But when we put more than one thing in perspective and we have prioritizations of these things, then it makes an interesting combination of the cohesion of someone's life. It definitely does. And once again, family, please don't mind my camera doing this weird work of constantly refocusing. Any other questions, please feel free to get active, to talk, to ask questions, um, commentary, um, subscribing, unsubscribing, liking, thumbs down. For you are free, and so am I. I think that I want to tell you guys what's the next thing I have, the next video that we have coming up, and it's going to be financially based, right? I'm going to take you down the journey of how can a righteous person, without slaving away, working 3, 4 jobs, without working 60, 70, 80 hours in a week, make it. Um, and the first series of that was going to be the finances. It's going to be looking at how do we take our resources to the best of our ability and build it into something that can be ever for fruitful and grow in us and grow in our family, right? And I do know that if a lot of people were able to have $1 million, $7 million in their hand right now, not every single reason why they will want that is for vanity, is for the love of money, but the access or the ability to access certain things that they were not able to access before, to live in the absence of stress that they currently live in, to be able to experience life on a higher level, on a more abundant level. And for those type of people, and for that thought process, I commend you and I applaud you, because you are the child of the Most High, and you do deserve riches and abundance. And there is a way, right? I'm not saying that you will get it tomorrow. I'm not saying that you shall ascertain it a year from now, but I am saying that you can be rich in spirit. You can also be rich in person, right? And anyone who tells you otherwise, I will say this: think why they are saying otherwise. Is it because they failed at the acquisition of such? Is it because they do not have the capabilities of growing in itself that you may ascertain? And where and who told you that you cannot have greatness in all senses of the word, and why? And is it because you're not good enough, or because you would go astray? Then they are simultaneously condemning you, or confining you rather, to the same life that you are currently living, the very same life that you do want changed, that you see the need for more resources, and are telling you to your face, that you should stay where you are. Now, if that's what you want to do, that's your prerogative, so be it. I'm not here to judge you per se, but I do judge over my life, my family's life, and what we shall have. And me and my house, we shall figure that solution. And anyone who wants to go on that journey and things of that sort, and really see how to have your resources grow from skills that you have learned, to be able to have some sense of freedom, because a lot of people feel constricted or confined to whatever their job, their career is, because of the fact that, excuse me, it helps them get through life. But as we see that these corporations kind of change, and they don't have the same goodwill, or maybe never had a goodwill, why do we constantly subject them to the only places that feed us? You know what I'm saying? Why are there conversations that they are allowed to have about how they monopolize on us, and we can't grow and thrive? So yes, the next video we will be talking about is investing, dealing with stocks, a little bit of options trading. And none of these things am I telling any one of you to do, but to look into, even if it's just an accelerated savings account, um, something, or try something to change your life. If you are not comfortable with it, you do not like it, whether it's starting a new business, whether it's investing, whether it is doing another side job. But I feel as though that sometimes that goes back into the same trap. I want to help cultivate it myself, and while other people take whatever they can educationally, um, from me doing that, and allow them to grow as well. Because if I know if I can do it, you can do it too. If I can learn it, you can learn it as well. And I think that's powerful. Shalom, I'm just a messenger. Hey, man. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to everybody. Um, so yeah, that's definitely gonna be our next video. Should be coming out within the next 2 days, 3 days or so. There's gonna be a decent amount of editing on my end. I got the content together though for you guys, and that should be coming out sometime next week. most likely closer to the beginning, around Tuesday, Wednesday-ish. If there's any other questions or comments or things of that sort, let me know. We will definitely um, investing in Bitcoin. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh's portion, my brother Israel, Shalom, peace. You're investing in Bitcoin. Oh yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about crypto. We'll definitely. I am not in any way expert in any of these things, right? I am just a student learning and sharing what I've learned, right? Um, and I have seen some fruits of that labor, and I just want to be able to show others the same things I've learned, and maybe they will have similar or better results than I have had. Um, and that is what my aim is for that. With Bitcoin, I think we talk about price wise, right? I think that Bitcoin has the potential from going to from right now it should be right around 97,000. It's hovering right below 100,000. It did crack it. It did reach above 100,000, but it did come back down. I think by the end of this year, for sure, Bitcoin will reach 125,000 on the low end, and on the high end, 150,000. Um, I think it's going to hit somewhere in that range, which for the average person, they're like, well, I don't have that type of money. Let's talk about fractional shares real quick, what that means and why this is important to you, or how it can help you rather. Is a fractional share means you do not have to buy all of one particular piece of something, but you can buy a piece of a piece. All right. So let's say there was um, a full share, right, or of Bitcoin, or one full Bitcoin would be 100,000, but you can buy a piece of a piece and have put $1 into Bitcoin. Well, why is that important? If I project that Bitcoin will rise to 125 to 150,000 by the end of the year, that means that you can make 25% to 50% on your money, right? As long as you get it relatively below the $100,000 mark, right? And if you get it somewhere in there, you're going to see volatility. And once again, investing and trading has considerable risk. You should consult a financial advisor. This is just for educational and predictions. That's it. Um, I say that because once again, I am not a financial advisor, right? I'm still in the process of learning. I do not want to come off as a person who knows it all. I just know some things, and those same things have been able to allow my life to adjust, allow me to move, allow me to have a more freedom in my day. Not complete, but we're moving closer and closer. I have things I will showcase in the next video of some things that I've made, some things that I've seen over the last year and some change. And this year, as I said earlier, is a year of execution. Execution of everything that I've seen work for me, work for my family, that will work for my child, that's on the way, that's going to work in the Most High's will. That is what 2025, the calendar year, means. Is showcasing me. And to be honest, I've been on this since November, right? But now that I've had a few months and I've got things settled, I'm able to share things currently, right? And there's no better time than the present. So, let me get back on that. Just make sure that was really clear, right? Because this probably will be used in a piece of information by the end of this year, right? I do think that Bitcoin, right, will get to 125. So that's 125,000 to 150,000 from the different things that I've seen due to the inflation and things of that sort. And if that is the case, that shows you how to make 25 to 50% of your money back, right? And for someone who doesn't understand the value of that, is that saying that that's investing. Now, that means that if you was able to, let's say for some people, and I would not tell a person to do it this way, but this quantity could help, right? Is that if you had about $1,000, right? That means you made $250 to no, not 250. Yeah, my bad, my bad. So if you had $1,000 and you put into Bitcoin, roughly above or below 100,000, right around there. If it goes up 25%, that means you made $250 by holding something, right? If it goes to 150,000, that means that you make $500, right? Now, mind you, you do not have to invest in thousands. You can invest in hundreds, tens, dollars, um, in $1. The importance of this is that most of the time you have only learned how to spend your money to lose money. You have never learned how to spend your money to make money. Excuse me. And that is what's so interesting about investing and trading and things of that sort. So put that there. I see that I'm just a message that says that's a great to hear, bro. Me and Lee was just talking about executing everything this year. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's always time to move forward. I think just from everything that happened in 2020, there was a lot of things to learn, and there was a constant bombardment of distractions, of fear, of lack, of destruction, of corrosion. And it's not to say that some of those things are still here, but it's to say that and peep game family, like peep game. I've been telling my wife this for since 2022, and it seems to be really, really true. Right? Is that there's just a lot of excess noise, but some things do have some levels of impact, and this is why we just have to stay protected by the Most High and do things that are right. Move with some level of preparation, but without like fear. And I know that's very hard for a lot of people because they live a very stressed life. So for something to actually pop up and for you to sit down and take more time to digest and learn, it normally is coming from another stimulus of stress. It's not coming from a stimulus of wanting to improve oneself, to learn academically something, to evolve something spiritually, right? Um, that uh that typically is too far removed from the average person, especially the average person that looks like me, because of the onslaught of stress. And one of those stresses is just the lackluster environments that sometimes we are grown in, born in, put in, with the absence of resources. So with all that being said, that's why one of my first videos is really first getting reacquainted with y'all, but another thing is teaching a man how to fish so that he doesn't have to keep begging for a fish every day. Because that is no way to live that you can really feel like you want to move forward. And then I want to show you how to do these things righteously in a good way, in a good manner, to heal from certain traumas and to really be whole and holy. All praises, divine, right? So that's like my thought process behind that, and there's a lot of good energy to that. CEO3, my bad. CEO King says that what's your thoughts on polygamy? Just wanted to know what you think about it for talking points. That's all. Um, I don't believe in polygamy, polygyny. Those are two different things. Polygyny is when a man marries more than one wife, takes care of them, loves them, cherishes them, respects them. In a righteous man, there will be no such things as any type of congregations between the wives or between the wife or multiple wives and the one husband at any given time. Polygamy, though, the thing that you said, brother, that believes in men and women having multiple partners, and I just do not think that that has a place in what's going for. Polygyny is what you meant. I got you, but I just for the record and saying things straight. Polygyny is for those who want to try it. Go ahead. I don't think that it's necessarily wicked. I don't think that there's a sin in it. I just don't think it's for me. For a plethora of different reasons, and I think that most people are not ready for that type of relationship, men and women. I'm not saying that it can't have its own place and things of that sort. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but currently in the environment in America where I currently reside and how the vast majority of people that I interact with are American born and descendants of, or have been immigrants that have kind of integrated in their American system. I just don't see that working very well for them. But it's not to say that you can't practice it. I or any one person can't practice it. But those are my thoughts on polygyny and polygamy. Polygyny, once again, being when a man can have more than one wife, right? Takes care of them, respects them, and things of that sort. And that's how the family household goes. And polygamy, right, is when the wife and the husband of one type of union, which to me kind of makes it weird, can't have multiple partners. So there can be like why that wife or that this one woman can have more than one husband essentially, and this one man can have more than one wife essentially, and sometimes they even intermingle on a all together. It sometimes it just creates a lot of confusion. I mean, not sometimes, it does to me creates a lot of confusion, even how to really explain how that relationship dynamic really works. In a statute of order, in a statute of a leader, in a statute of just organization, let alone everything else that comes with that. So yeah, Howard's portion says, remember a lot of this stuff be a distraction, the wearing out of the saints of the Most High. Yep, the script in Daniel was on point. That's a fact. A lot of these different things is going on in this world saying that, oh, this is going to come to an end or that's going to come to an end. Remember, like, all right, family, just here's just some of the things that I can remember off the top of my head, right? We had the banks, or we had certain banks collapse in America. We had recently, like we had few years ago, like a mysterious balloon slash drone that was floating around, getting all this stuff going, being captured of nuclear power plants. Then we also had certain grid shutdowns and blackouts and things of that sort from certain people. I mean, earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, if not just within the last week or two, there was just a mass shooting. And now my heart goes out to any people who are harmed in these things and who have families who are detrimented. You know, I pray for them. I pray that they are able to overcome the adversities that are set on them. But then also just recently, like within the last week or two, we was talking about drones coming down. There was a mysterious fog. Like there's always something that's being put in front of you that is telling you to worry about something else, right? And if you ever noticed, I look out right now, as you see on my face right now, the sun is up, the birds are chirping, the flowers are growing in their respective seasons. The trees are growing in their respective seasons. So I'm going to grow in my respective season. And I empower each and every one of you to grow in your respective season in the midst of all of it. Because guess what? As all those things happen, if you didn't take the time to better yourself, you didn't take the time to secure yourself, the environment kept going forward. Right. And from people who have strategically placed themselves with the guidance of the Most High beside them, They're okay. So remember that. And that's one thing that I promised myself of all 2025. The world will not come to an end in 2025. That is not a prophecy. That is not a proclamation, but that is just something I feel in my spirit to not operate in the fear mongering that's constantly beginning. I will constantly assess every situation that happens. And if I do see any type of threat, I shall move accordingly. But I will not come and I will not be overran with the thought that the world will come to an end today. I shall not. Because that is the same terror, the same fear that they capitalize off of to keep us confounded. And I release that. And I encourage many others to release that from yourselves as well. Preparation is always essential and great. I still believe in being able to hold yourself down, hold your family down, hold your community down for the Most High forever, and whatever way that is. But don't let them fool you. Don't let them piss on your leg and tell you it's raining, though. Don't let them do that. Don't let them piss on your leg and tell you it's raining. I ain't for that. I ain't for that. I see that as being the number one tool that is trying to disrupt righteousness and greatness. And I just don't stand for that. Nope. Not from this moment and into the indefinite future. And not from every moment in the past. So that's what I got for that. Right? But yeah, family, it's soon about to be Father Leon out here. You know what I mean? And that's interesting. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for the content we have on the way. Uh, we're going to get active in this community tab. We're going to get active in these videos that we got ready. We're going to get the Patreon eventually back up and running. We got work to do all 2025 with the divine rest of the Shabbat that comes in as it comes in, the divine rest of the holy days as they come in, when they come in. You know, it's time to live as a brew and document it, you know? That's what we on. That's what we on. All right. Family, is there any last remarks or anything like that? I've been out here for practically an hour. I appreciate for everyone who came to the stream, but I'll allow for the ones who are live here with me. For any questions, commentary, anything like that, you know, I'll give you guys another 5-10 minutes if something interesting pops up. If not, I'll say stay tuned for the video that we have ahead of ourselves, because I really do mean it in the aspect of there's a lot of people who talk a talk, but they don't walk a walk. There's a lot of people who try to build a community and that community crumbles because they do not empower the people in the community, but they only empower themselves. And I am not here to do that. That's not what I'm here for. I am already powerful. I'm far more powerful than any power that anyone else can give to me because I have the Most High with me. And that's true for anyone else who walks with the Most High. And there's no competition to my brother or my sister, only collaboration and growth. And that's what I want. That is what I want. That is what my spirit is. Oh, that's another thing. We will take time. As I say, we're going to study some history. We will take time to revisit some of the greatest thoughts by our people, right? Some will deal with scriptures, some will deal with inventors, some will deal with scholars, some will deal with revolutionaries. We will remind ourselves of our excellence that the Most High has called us to be in. I am just a messenger that asks, can a reprobate mind be forgiven? Okay, it's an interesting question. I think that in the aspect of righting wrongs, that always needs to happen, right? Now, that's going to happen on different levels at different times for different events. But I do think that you being able, any one person being able to move, excuse me, move on, to grow past, to evolve, and to let go is important, especially if you are not currently or subjected to the crimes of that person or the crimes of that thought. Right. Now, remember, being subjected means that they are forcing you one way or another, or you are submitting yourself one way or another. Right. But that doesn't mean that you shall tolerate wickedness either. Like, keep that in mind. Right. And nowhere near in here am I saying that you should tolerate injustice or someone harming you, someone speaking down on you, but that doesn't always mean that your tools of recourse is of violence. Sometimes moving with divinity comes with like a certain grace and honor that has to be shown. And then sometimes it does come with a warrior spirit for protection, right? And with that being said, that's That's my answer to that, because it really does depend on what you mean by a reprobate mind and what situation we're talking about, whether that person is growing, not growing, stagnant, not stagnant, is the environment you're in. Like, there are more complexities to this question, but I think that that does answer it. That allows you to have a blueprint of what I think of that situation, for sure. All right. So we had on a few different interesting topics. Um, I implore everybody to stay tapped in, hit that notification button, hit that like button, subscribe, and really be ready to lock in. All right. We're going to go through a journey. We're going to go through a process. We're going to go through a evolution. And even if you do not grow, other people are. And I encourage you to be a part of the growth. I encourage you to be a part of your best self and not your worst self, not a stagnant. Because I myself am also on a journey. It doesn't always mean that I win every day. Doesn't mean that I'm always perfect every day, but I am consistent at the application of being my best. And I employ that to everybody. Yes, Steve Bless, my bad. Steve Bless. It is great to be back and black. It is great. It feels good. It feels good. We're going to be getting tapped in way more frequently. I got to set up some things for my music, but we're going to get the music going. Wait, trust me. And I already been writing. I already been writing. Trust and believe that. Let me got a whole bunch of words over here. You know what? Why not? Let's show all aspects of self. Um, Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna do everything in order. Right. So we will have more poetry coming out. We will have more music coming out. And every time I see Steve Bless, he reminds me that I gotta stay on top of the music. So I commend that brother for it. It's a great expression of self. It helps, sharing some positive messages, to allow people to get through tough times, to embellish in good times, to reminisce about sad times and how to grow through them, really do that. And the music expansion shall come in 2025 as well. All right, family. I think that I have said most of the things that was on my heart. I think I'm grateful for every person that came. It's been your brother Leon the Servant, back here with another pivotal topic about the path of where we're headed, how we're going to get there. Are you happy? And if there's any uncertainty in any of those things, the encouragement to keep moving forward, to keep moving onward, Because what is the point of having spiritual edification without no practical application? That's not what we stand for. We stand for spiritual edification with practical application because it matters. All praises to the Most High, Yah, Him, and Him alone. Shalom. Peace.